Welcome back, everyone, to the High Tempo Sports Podcast, episode 130. Today is going to be a very, very fun episode as it is the trade deadline special today. Welcome back.
And low-key the Super Bowl special.
Yeah, and the Super Bowl special. That's true, yeah.
Like, this is it.
Yeah, we missed last week,
episode.
but we're back this week. We got a lot to talk about.
A lot.
Yeah, obviously yesterday was the NBA trade deadline. That's going to be the main topic of today's episode. We're going to talk a little bit about the Super Bowl, obviously, later, and the NFL awards got announced. Actually, should we just get those out of the way right now?
Let's get the awards.
Yeah. The NFL awards, Aaron Rodgers wins back-to-back MVPs. First player since Peyton Manning, I think, to win back-to-back MVPs. It's his fourth. TJ Watt is DPOY. Cooper Kupp is Offensive Player of the Year. Jamar Chase, Offensive Rookie of the Year. Micah Parsons, Defensive Rookie of the Year. Joe Burrow wins Comeback Player of the Year. Mike Vrabel is Coach of the Year of the Tennessee Titans. Not really any crazy surprising ones.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even Micah Parsons himself, they asked him if he thought he should have been the DPOY, and he said, nah, TJ Watt went crazy.
Yeah. And that's just it. I mean, he sacks. I mean, he's now top two, or did he win it? Does he outright hold the sack record?
I don't really remember.
Me
I think
either.
he just tied it. I think he
tied for second. I don't
Oh,
think
really?
I don't think
he officially tied straight
Oh,
hands,
did he?
I think,
Okay.
but I don't think he broke it, though.
Yeah, either way, I mean, every award was expected. The only one that could have been argued really would be Offensive Rookie of the Year, right? Jamar and Najee, but I mean, it just doesn't really matter.
Waddle, it didn't really matter because I was thinking of someone tweeted something about Jamar Chase got every single vote and Rashawn Slater of the Chargers got one vote for Offensive Rookie of the Year, and no one else got any other votes. So.
Wild that Rashawn Slater got that. That had to be a biased report.
I would assume. I mean, he probably was the best offensive lineman rookie this year, but you're gonna give it to a lineman over Jamar.
When was the last time a lineman won Offensive Rookie
won
of the
an
Year?
award that isn't an offensive lineman award.
Yeah, exactly.
So those are the awards. Like we said, nothing really surprising. I guess we might as well do our Super Bowl talk right now too.
Let's do it.
Bengals Rams. Who you got?
I'm rooting for the Rams totally, and there's been a whole lot of stuff going on in Detroit with the fan base about
the
rooting
Detroit
for
Rams
and
stuff.
blah blah blah. I'm rooting for Matt Stafford. I'm not a big Jalen Ramsey fan personally. I'm not a huge Aaron Donald fan. I'm a Cooper Kupp fan. I like Cooper Kupp. You can't really dislike him just because of the story. But I'm not a Rams fan. I want Stafford to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
People have got to realize that.
Look, this Detroit Rams stuff needs to stop. It is just I seen the video today that they're selling Detroit Rams shirts in Detroit stores and shops. Why?
We aren't the Rams.
We have our own team, the Lions,
and we haven't won. We should be embarrassed that we should partially be embarrassed that we never won a playoff game with Stafford.
Yeah, exactly.
And he had one season with a different team, and boom, Super Bowl now.
We love Stafford, and obviously we're rooting for him. We're not rooting for this organization.
No.
The Los Angeles Rams. I'm rooting for Matt Stafford in specific. That's why I'm saying, I'm rooting for the Rams. If the Rams lose this game, damn. Shout out to the Bengals. That's super cool.
Joe Cool is cooler.
The Bengals haven't won a Super Bowl in a very long time, so I don't think they've ever won one. I think they've made it.
Teams?
They've made it to one.
That'd be cool to see a new.
I don't know if they won or not, but they definitely have at least made one.
That's my thing is whoever wins this, the storylines are equally awesome.
Exactly.
Oh, you have Joe Burrow. Oh, shoot, the Bengals won. Except, the comeback player of the year. Tore his ACL last season. Third year in the NFL.
Yeah.
Balling out.
With his wide receiver from...
Second year.
It's... second year. Yeah.
I mean, it's just there's storylines on both sides. The Bengals were shit 2 seasons ago and last season. It is just unreal, the storylines from this.
Yeah.
From both sides.
It's the last so many Super Bowls, I've going into it, I've really been I want this team to win, and I don't want this other team to win. Where it's I want the Rams to win, but it's not that I don't want the Bengals to win. If they win, that's super cool, too.
I want a crazy good game.
It's a W either way. As long... Yeah, obviously, if it's a blowout... That's going to suck.
Yeah.
Blowout in the Super Bowl is the worst thing ever. But
worst.
I don't think it's going to be.
Me either.
I doubt it.
I hope it's a high-intensity game. I mean, Joe Burrow's probably going to come out and ball out. I mean, he really is. Joe Mixon has been on a tear in the playoffs. I'm so pumped.
Jamar versus Jalen Ramsey in this game is going to be hype.
Did you see have you seen the interview that's floating around the internet of Cooper Kupp in high school? and they're asking him like, how are you preparing to play your final football game ever? And he's like a senior in high school, and they literally were like, the reporters were like, how does it feel knowing that you're going to be done after this game? Cooper Kupp just led the league in receiving yards.
He literally just got the triple crown of receiving this year in touchdowns, receptions, and yards.
Just ridiculous. That interview was just so cool and interesting because it's so weird to see him so young, and like just his story is amazing, just incredible
for sure. When Matthew Stafford wins the Super Bowl MVP, all you Stafford haters can suck it because it will happen. Either way, even if he does it, he made the Super Bowl. It doesn't even matter.
He validated every Lions fan.
Yeah,
he validated us. Thank you.
So let's get rid of the NFL talk now. Sorry if you were wanting an NFL Super Bowl predictions episode.
Yeah, we're not going to predict what defenses they're going to run. I don't know.
The game is happening in 2 days. By the time you are listening to this podcast, the Super Bowl is probably going to happen already. So we're not going to sit here in depth talking about the game. We'll talk about it afterwards.
Yeah, absolutely.
But let's talk about the NBA trade deadline because it was wild. I have 15 trades, I think I counted, written down here that happened yesterday, and then there was a couple that happened earlier in the week that I also wrote down. Let's get into the hard-hitting trades first. The big one, obviously, the Philadelphia 76ers received James Harden and Paul Millsap, and the Brooklyn Nets received Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, Andre Drummond, 2022 unprotected first-round pick from the Sixers that they can change it to 2023 if they want. So, if the Sixers win it all, maybe they're we'll just take it from next year. And then a 2027 first-round pick, which is kind of like the same exact thing. They can vouch it to 2028 if they want.
Gotcha.
Instant reactions to this trade because obviously this was the biggest Woj bomb ever. In a minute.
Yeah,
actually, this was a Shams bomb. Actually, we'll give him that one.
Okay.
But anyways,
the competition, the battle.
Shams won the deadline, bro.
Easily,
he did.
Dude.
But Woj cracks the details fast, though.
Isn't it funny how that's the competition?
I know, and
it
wasn't.
You see the tweet of the Kobe and Shaq meeting, the interview that they did where Shams and Woj need to do one of these.
I seen a tweet yesterday that was like, y'all remember Woj in his prime? It's just bro.
No
you just
way.
mean Woj when he was the only guy that reported things.
And it's funny because he's got a Twitter career. There's probably stats on his Twitter.
Shams is only 27 years old. That's the craziest
How old
part.
is Woj?
50 something.
See, I don't even know who they are outside of Twitter. I would have no idea.
They're just Twitter guys.
I hardly even know what they look like other than their profile picture.
Hey, they're both free agents this year, though.
Oh.
So is Adam Schefter, too.
Dude, they all got it.
What if they all join forces?
The big three.
Biggest three. I mean, Woj and Schefter are already ESPN. But anyways.
What were we talking about?
James Harden.
Yeah. Instant reactions. Holy shit, awesome.
Yeah.
Good job. Good job, both organizations. I do think the Sixers might have given up too much. In all honesty, losing Seth Curry is crazy. He is the premier shooter in the league, or at least one of them.
And he is Doc Rivers' son-in-law.
Which is hilarious. Doc Rivers is cold-blooded. He does not give a shit about who you are to him.
Yeah.
He will trade you in a heartbeat. And he traded his son, right? He traded Austin Rivers
I think
at
some point, yeah.
Dude,
obviously he's not the one doing the trade, but
he still has to. He probably presses the old okay button.
Yeah.
Eventually, but. Awesome trade. We're going to get to see two guys who, A, didn't want to play basketball where they were, and B, weren't. Just straight up weren't. Both go to new organizations, new starts, and get to play. It is extremely weird out of James Harden, though, to request a trade after requesting a trade and getting exactly what he wanted the first time. And then it's you're just not, it didn't work out the way you thought it was. You were a little too high on your own horse, buddy. You thought you were too great. Which is a little weird, but I'm pumped I hope Harden kind of rejuvenates himself because he has looked old this year. He's looked. I saw a tweet that said, Harden is 32 going on 42 because of how he looks this year.
Really, yeah.
He looks so slow.
He's out of shape for sure.
I'm really hoping he just gets into prime James Harden.
It
or at
seems
least
like he's
closer.
going to be motivated more than he was. If you're an OG listener of this show, you remember when James Harden got traded to Brooklyn live on our podcast. And that really came out of nowhere. And this kind of came out of nowhere too. But if you would have told me then that, hey, Harden's going to get traded like a little over a year from now at next year's deadline. Like,
Not walk.
huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, not walk and go somewhere else. He's going to get traded again.
Because he hates it so much.
But yeah, this didn't really, I mean, it kind of came out of nowhere. On Wednesday, it was reported by Brian Windhorst that this trade's gonna happen. It's going to. And then Woj, like, right after, kind of just, like, shot Brian Windhorst down and was like, I don't know why people are saying that this is going down. All words have shown me that no progress has been made. And I was like, okay, it might not go down. And then Thursday morning, James Harden, like, halfway requests a trade. He says, I want to request a trade, but I don't want to get the backlash for requesting a trade.
so you requested
So you
one.
just requested a trade.
Yeah, you just said, get me out of here.
Exactly. And
What a dumb statement.
After that-
that is stupid.
that pretty much kind of forced Brooklyn to trade him. It's like, all right, well, now if we keep him, we're going to have an unhappy James Harden and a half of Kyrie Irving. So, like, we need to at least make it close to 100% as we can. Kind of force Brooklyn to make this trade. But this is one of the rare, like, superstar trades that I think is a W for both sides. I agree with you. Philly did give up a lot. Like, their bench doesn't look
Pretty-
really good right now.
Ugh.
If you're running a starting lineup of Maxey, Harden, Thibault,
Tobias.
Harris, and Embiid, your
So-
bench is like, you got Korkmaz, you got George Niang.
The buyout market's going to be crazy
Yeah,
important
buyout
for that
market is
roster.
going to be important for them. But at the same time, you know, the initial talks a few days ago was like Brooklyn wants Maxey, and then Philly was like, nah, we're not giving you Maxey. Brooklyn wants Matisse Thybulle. Nah, we're not giving you Matisse Thybulle. I think it's a dub them getting Drummond, the Nets, because this team is really deep now, and they have a lot of old centers that shouldn't really be centers.
And they needed a true big guy. Like an actual
yeah,
big
Andre
dude.
Drummond is a center. Like, they have Nicholas Claxton, but they need another guy like that.
Mm-hmm.
And Drummond, I think, is going to be pretty good for this team. Seth Curry is going to be, what a great pickup by Brooklyn in this deal. And obviously Ben Simmons. We're going to get to see Ben Simmons play. He is traveling with the team to Miami tonight. I doubt he's playing.
Doubt it.
I would really be shocked.
But Sabonis played the other day.
yeah, Sabonis played like the night of
Yeah.
their trade, which
Yeah.
was really weird.
He was like, yeah, get me on a plane. I'll
Yeah.
play. And he got a dub.
And
they won.
Yeah, and Simmons, though, it's just going to be great to see him playing again.
Mm-hmm.
On March 10th, Brooklyn travels to Philadelphia, and we get, I really hope Ben Simmons plays in this game because the crowd is just going to be unreal.
Yeah, do you think, like, other than, like, Christmas Day games, it'll be the most watched regular season game?
It might be
Like,
of this
right?
season.
Yeah. I mean, it's a huge deal.
Yeah.
That game was going to be intense.
Oh, yeah.
And a ton of emotions because it is very clear after the All-Star game draft
Yeah.
that KD is not on the good terms with Harden either.
Yeah.
It's not just Kyrie. It is all three of those dudes.
And you kind of have to not be on the same page.
can't
I mean,
be.
he just requested a trade from your team,
Well,
not in
it
the
was only you
offseason.
two.
It's the middle of the season. Like, it is. You not
Something's
hear me?
going on. No.
Hello?
I can hear you. Oh, you were good.
Hello?
We're good.
All
It's
right,
all
cool.
fixed.
But yeah, like he requested a trade in the middle of the season, which is just like this team is trying to win a championship.
Well, it's really bad when the team before this was a lot of, okay, here's you two and then everybody else.
Yeah.
And you'll get half of Kyrie.
Yeah, you'll get him occasionally.
And so it was really like Kevin Durant and James Harden versus everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was like, James Harden's like, I don't want to do it anymore.
And it seemed like Harden, I mean, obviously we're not going to find out truly why he requested a trade, but it sounds like he just coming to Brooklyn, he wanted it to be more of a big three, whereas for the last 2 months since KD's been out, it's really been Harden and a bunch of, like exactly how it was in Houston, Harden and a bunch of role players. Harden, you have to put up a 40-point triple-double for us to even have a chance at winning, and I don't think he wanted to be doing that. Now he joins a team with Joel Embiid, who is probably the best player in the league currently, so it's going to be great to see that duo happen.
His thought process really is probably, I'm getting older and I want to take a little more of a back seat. And that was his thought. I mean, you went to Brooklyn and expected to play much more than 16 games with your two buddies. I mean, these guys, Kyrie and KD, are obviously friends. I don't know if James Harden ever was with them, but
I
he
would
had to
assume
be
Harden and
somewhat
KD
close.
were friends. I mean, they played together in OKC, and they played Team USA together. Like, I would assume that they were.
But they did compete in
together at
Golden
some
State.
point.
I mean,
Yeah.
but who cares? You still buddies,
Yeah.
even though you got to
True.
compete. But what an awesome trade. W's all around.
Yeah. Like I said, I think that this is really tough to figure out who won this trade. I really don't think anyone did.
I don't think either team
I'm
did.
giving Brooklyn.
We won't know till the end of the year.
I would say Brooklyn wins this trade, but I mean, I don't think they wanted to trade James Harden. You know, like they were kind of forced to, but the return they get for him, they were trying to package either one or two of these first they got from Philly plus Nick Claxton to add more depth to this team. They ended up not being able to pull a trade off, so we'll see if maybe in the offseason they try to move these picks if they don't win a championship. I'm going to give Brooklyn an A on this trade, though, because for the card you were dealt that you have to trade James Harden, you add Ben Simmons, who is going to play and commit for your team. You add Seth Curry, and you add Drummond. This team full-strength lineup is going to be really tough to beat. I think Brooklyn did get better from this trade. Philly, I'll give it a... since Daryl Morey got what he wanted and held out for this long, I'll give him an A-.
Yep,
I was going to give him a B+, but...
My exact grades right there, A and A-. And it might turn out to be a flip-flop. It might be, by the end of the year, we might say, well, Brooklyn, lost in the conference finals to the 76ers, who made the A.
Which, if we get a playoff series of this team...
ridiculous.
That would be awesome.
Kyrie will never play in the Brooklyn, which is just...
I think that it might be changed by then, though. I think there's like new elections going on in New York. I think a lot of regulations are getting changed in New York. So
I would love it.
It would be great because then Kyrie could play.
On no political bullshit. I would love to see Kyrie on the floor.
Yeah, exactly. Just from a basketball standpoint, I want to see him play.
Yes, sir.
Because he is good. But yeah, shout out to Daryl Morey, though. I know Stephen A. Smith said this is the worst. This is going to ruin his career or whatever.
Joke.
Like, Daryl, he got what he wanted.
Yeah.
I will give him his praise because a lot of GMs will panic when their superstar requests out, like Ben Simmons did, and he stuck to his guns. He said, no, I'm not moving him unless it
because Harden wants to be here.
And it's not even just that. He's just, I'm not moving Simmons in a trade that makes our team worse. I'm not moving him for Brogdon or for C.J. McCollum, like we were saying. No, he does end up getting James Harden out of it, and he wins. I mean, he got his way.
Really weird to see a big three break off this way because we've never seen it happen before, where it was just like so much turmoil and discussion.
And it's
the whole time.
Weird. It's so sad that they only played 16 games together.
Like, we have 16 games of film on what these three can do, and like how accurate even are those 16 games? How many games did James Harden play on, a sore thigh where he was barely in of those 16 or whatever?
Right.
16 games doesn't mean they're all 16 good games.
Yeah. This big three could have been like the best big three we've ever seen, talent-wise.
We will have no idea.
And we are just never going to know.
Never.
Maybe Simmons, KD, and Kyrie will be.
Imagine.
The fit might be a little better, but we'll see.
If they use him like Draymond, I don't see why it wouldn't be.
I agree. So let's move on to I got these in random order, so we're just going to go in random order here. This one was a head scratcher. This one really came out of nowhere. The Dallas Mavericks receive Spencer Dinwiddie and Davis Bertans, and the Wizards get Kristaps Porzingis and a second pick in this year's upcoming draft. Second round pick in this year's upcoming draft. I got to get another instant. Oh, go ahead.
What did he say?
Was that what did he say?
It worked.
Nice.
It totally worked.
For real, what did he say? Like, why did this trade happen?
Neither one of these teams needed to make trades. I mean, especially not the Mavericks trading Kristaps.
Yeah.
I mean, the talk was Jalen Brunson. And now you have the Mavericks who didn't move Jalen Brunson, and your three best players are point guards. What are you doing?
Exactly.
What are you doing? I mean, Spencer did when he's 6'6". He can play the three. Do it. You won't win many games.
Sure, yeah. You could run Brunson, Dinwiddie, Luka. Like, they probably will. Luka and Dinwiddie are big enough so that you could do that. Is it going to work? No.
Hell no.
And then your front court is Davis Bertans and Dwight Powell, or Maxi Kleba and Willie Cauley-Stein.
Maxi Kleba and Davis Bertans are just like clones of each other.
Yeah.
Like, you're bringing one in, and they're just the same guy.
This trade was really weird because the initial report was Spencer Dinwiddie is being traded to the Dallas Mavericks. But it didn't say, like, what's going back to Washington. I just assumed it's like, all right, salary-wise, they're probably throwing Dwight Powell or one of their big contract guys and a pick for Dinwiddie, like to add him to this core. No, they are giving up Porzingis. Like, I don't know. I understand that Porzingis is, can really struggles to stay healthy. Like, this year, that has not been fixed. He's missed like 25 games or something this year. He missed a good amount of the season. And it would make sense if you traded Porzingis to like clear up some cap for that. You get some dead money in return that in free agency you're going to be able to bring back Brunson and sign some guys to add to Luka's team. But Porzingis has got to be making somewhere between 30 and 35 million. Dinwiddie's making, we talked about this, he's making like 18 million, I'm pretty sure, and Bertans is making like 16 million, and their contracts are long. Bertans has like 3 or 4 years left. Dinwiddie just signed his, so his is at least 3 years. So this trade literally does nothing for the Mavericks other than, oh, you got to extend Dorian Finney-Smith afterwards.
Does it make you worse?
I think so.
I think it makes them. And at first I was like, yeah, I guess trading your big star for depth, which you lacked, but you didn't get good depth. You didn't go out and get the center or another power forward that you needed. You got another shooter who doesn't play defense
since he's like signed that contract. Like he has not been good.
He's not the Latvian laser like we used to call him. He's like
exactly.
the Latvian loser.
That's funny.
That's just so mean. So mean.
And it's like, okay, maybe your excuse is, all right, Porzingis can't stay healthy, so we got to trade him for some guys who can.
No.
Spencer Dinwiddie can't stay healthy, bro. He was just out for the year last year.
He's always hurt.
He doesn't play back-to-backs this year. Like I don't think he's played in one back-to-back or played both games.
KP must have been like secretly super unhappy or something.
Right?
I mean, he had to have a talk with Mark Cuban and being like, yo, like I'm just not having fun here being number 2 next to Luka, which I mean, I guess at that point you got to do what you got to do, but vocalize that so everybody knows what the market, that Kristaps is on the market. Because I had no idea. I thought it was Brunson was the only guy looking to get moved. But do you even have the money to re-sign Brunson now?
Yeah.
You didn't do anything.
You didn't do anything at all. And you just extended Dorian Finney-Smith, so you don't have the money to bring back Brunson.
He's gone.
Unrestricted. Like, you can't go over the cap to bring him back.
He's gone.
You need to create that money somehow. So unless you maybe do this trade where you think Dinwiddie's going to be easier to move in the offseason or Bertans is going to be easier to move, it's a really risky trade because this trade is definitely not a win-now trade. Obviously, this team is not better doing this. There was talks that the Raptors were in talks with getting Kristaps Porzingis. I think that would have made a little more sense because then the Raptors could have thrown Goran Dragic to them, who's been rumored. He's on a 1-year contract, so it's an expiring. And then, I don't know, another guy.
It makes sense.
Yeah, it actually would work. But no, let's also throw a second-round pick with Porzingis to the Wizards. The Wizards, I mean, at first I was like, why the hell did the Wizards do this? But it's like, I mean, this is just a move to try and convince Bradley Beal to come back. Bradley Beal is out for the year, and this team is like 6 or 7 games under 500 now after starting the year out really well. So, and Porzingis is under contract, so this is just kind of a Bradley Beal, please come back. We got you a star to come play with you, and it didn't cost them much, literally at all.
I think it made their team better.
Yeah,
it currently.
Yeah,
right
it
now.
made their team better. Like this team isn't going to. I think they would benefit from sucking the rest of the year and getting a top pick, and then maybe drafting a guy or trading that pick. But sure, you get Porzingis. If Bradley Beal comes back, that could be a fun duo.
Mm-hmm, absolutely, but you're in the same light. I don't know how many extra games they'll win with KP. I think they are better.
Yeah, you're right.
But I don't think
he's
they're
not
going
to give them like 10 more wins.
Yeah, I think they're still going to suck, and maybe you get a good player in this year's draft, and then you really convince Bradley Beal to stay. But I mean, with all the trades the Wizards made, with like the Montrezl Harrell trade that we'll talk about later, I mean, I guess it kind of works. But I'm going to give the Mavericks an absolute F. I mean, I guess F, and I'm going to give the Wizards a C. I mean, you tried. You're trying. It's clear that you are trying, which is, I like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you.
At least you're showing some effort.
Yeah.
But it's like maybe you should try and blow it the hell up and trade Bradley Beal. Like maybe you should try and realize that your Bradley Beal and Kristaps Porzingis isn't going to win you a playoff series.
It's not even close. Yeah. Like it's not even close.
You might not make it even.
Those are two tier 2 players.
If
at the
Beal
position.
and Westbrook was good for Washington last year, it won you 1 game in the playoffs last year.
What do you think KP?
You think Porzingis and a 2 years older Bradley Beal is going to do anything? I'm going to give Dallas a D-. I think it could be worse, so that's why I'm not giving it a complete F. Like they could have given up a first instead of a second.
I guess.
It's
a good way of looking at it. You're a better Mavericks fan than I am.
Yeah, Washington, I'll give it a C+. You got Porzingis, like you said, but this trade didn't have to happen.
Nope.
Like this seems like Dallas and Washington were like seeing all the other trades go on, and they were like,
"Oh shit!
We have to do a trade." You know, like it seems like they did this trade just to say they could do a trade. That's the vibes I get from it.
Just to show that like we are
participating in the trade deadline.
we are an NBA team.
Yeah,
We're
exactly.
a franchise.
The Wizards are currently 25 and 29. Yeah, so like they're probably not going to make the play-in tournament. So we'll
Did you
see.
take a picture of the standings because
Yeah.
you don't have service down here?
Yeah, I did.
That's hilarious.
And I was gonna write it down, but I was like, "Why? I might
That's
as well
a
just
lot.
take a screenshot of it." Next trade. Let's move on to a trade that happened a few days before the trade deadline on Tuesday. This one was probably the craziest trade before the James Harden trade happened.
Well, this trade just like came out of nowhere.
Yeah,
It
this
was
trade
a
really
sucker punch.
really came out of nowhere. The Sacramento Kings received Domantas Sabonis, Justin Holiday, Jeremy Lamb, and a 2023 second-round pick. Initially, they did get 2 Jeremy Lambs, but they
And I think they got Domas Sabonis.
yeah, I think that's what they call it. I think that's like a short for Domantas, though.
Oh, really?
I'm pretty sure,
Like
yeah, because they
Domas
were
is-
calling him that on TV. So
Oh, okay,
I would
that's cool.
assume. But yeah, it was just a typo from
Jeremy
Woj.
Lamb and
It was
Jeremy
so
Lamb.
funmy though that it said 2 Jeremy
And they were just
Lambs.
making fun of them.
Yeah,
Like,
I
so
know.
many people are just.
Everyone's saying the Kings lost this trade, but they got 2 Jeremy
Yeah.
Lambs. Like,
How is that bad?
If one of them's playing bad, the other one you just put him in. And then the Indiana Pacers get Tyrese Halliburton, Buddy Hield, and Tristan Thompson. Instant reaction.
Holy shit, Pacers! What a great move. I mean, you clearly aren't going to win with the core you have. It's been clear for a year now, I would say, that this core, as great as they look on paper, they don't win a lot of games
Yeah.
for some reason.
They all struggle to stay healthy too.
Sabonis and Miles Turner has always been a question for 2 years of can you even do this, blah, blah, blah. Miles Turner wants to play the 5. They get along. They don't dislike each other, but they both want their own freedom.
Yeah.
And Miles Turner wants to see what he was ecstatic when Domantas Sabonis got traded, but not in a, I hate that dude.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm finally going to be the center.
And he, the talk was that Turner's going to get traded. And then that trade happens. It's like, oh, well, now Miles Turner can stay and actually have this bigger role that he's been wanting.
Which is crazy because this whole time I've always pictured, in a couple of years, Miles Turner is going to be in a different jersey. There's a good chance he signs a long-term contract with these
especially
Pacers.
if he plays good. Yeah.
And Tyrese right there and Malcolm Brogdon still. I mean,
Did you know that we offered Jeremy Grant for Miles Turner? Pacers decline.
really?
Yeah. Which I guess makes sense. Like, Jeremy Grant doesn't really fit
Yeah.
their timeline.
Especially with the direction they went.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
Clearly,
Like-
they were trying to go like we could offer them Sadiq, and they might have considered.
Yeah,
it.
but that I wouldn't have wanted to
no,
do
no,
that.
me either. I'm
But I
just
get what you're saying, yeah.
It just wasn't what they were looking
Yeah,
for.
exactly. This trade, though, yeah, really just the Pacers. Shout out to them, but let's shit on the Kings for a minute here.
Screw the Kings.
The Kings. I just think that I feel like the Kings, if other teams would have known that Tyrese Halliburton is available, I think you could have gotten a much larger return. I mean, a guy like Tyrese Halliburton is a guy that is the main trade piece of like a superstar going to a team.
Yeah.
This trade, or like Tyrese getting traded, gives me major Shea getting traded to OKC for Paul George type vibes.
Paul George.
Like Shea was in his second year, got traded, and look at what he's become now at OKC with his own team. No, this is no hate to Domantas Sabonis. He's a great player, 2-time All-Star, having a really good year. I'm excited to see what him and De'Aaron Fox can do in Sacramento. But it's just like you didn't even get any picks in this trade. You didn't get any picks. You gave up Reese and Buddy, and like Holiday and Lamb are nice pieces, but like it's just such a odd head scratcher. Like, why not trade Fox instead?
do something different than keep. I mean, this dude is a premier shooting playmaker in the NBA. The guy shoots 40% from 3 and averages 7 assists a game
Yeah.
in his second year in a backcourt
And can play with another
De'Aaron
guard.
Fox.
Yeah.
He averaged 7 assists a game with a different point guard on
like
the floor.
there's not a lot of guys in the league or that can play the play style that Tyrese Halliburton is capable of doing. Like you said, his ability to play make while also still be a spot up shooter and hit shots is very good. And there's not a lot of guys like that
the
in
future of the league.
Yeah, exactly. And for them to trade it, like, I get it. The Kings want to make the playoffs. They have it in so long. They need it for their fans. But this made their fans 10 times more mad because, yeah, you might scrape in the play-in tournament this year, which isn't the playoffs. And you might lose in round 1 of the play-in tournament. And then next year, it's like, oh,
We have to run it back.
We have to run it back, and we don't have any cap flexibility, and we don't have any young assets that are getting. I mean, yeah, Sabonis is like 26 or 7.
And Fox, guess
what? Tyrese Halliburton's 21.
Yeah.
Like, I think he has a capability of getting a lot better than Sabonis is. Sabonis is good. How much better is he going to get? Probably not a lot.
You're about at your peak at 26, and his peak is really good.
De'Aaron Fox is, I hate to say it, but like,
Probably.
have we seen what we've seen from De'Aaron Fox? Maybe. Like, he definitely still could get better, but I don't know. Signs aren't really showing that he's going to.
We expected this year to be the breakout year for De'Aaron
I mean, like
Fox.
last year he broke out, and we kind of hoped he was going to build on it this year, and he definitely hasn't. I understand that you wanted to break up Tyrese and Fox, but by that, I think we meant trade Fox.
Yeah, get rid of Fox. Tyrese is too good of a young talent.
Yeah.
At 21 years old. The way he balls out is he's just such a good player. I can't believe you trade him. I mean, they call it Sacktown for a reason. It's the nut sack of the NBA. It just sucks. It sucks to be there. I feel so bad for Sabonis, but at least you're not in Indiana, I guess.
Yeah, for real.
As much as, I mean, these are just two organizations and shitty spots, but the Kings are in a worse spot
I
now.
do feel so bad for Tyrese Halliburton because there was reports that he was very emotional after getting traded, and he was crying, and JJ Redick said on his podcast that they wanted to have Tyrese on because he's like part of their podcast, kind of like he does their mailbags with them every like 2 or 3 weeks. And he said that Tyrese wasn't really ready to come on the podcast yet and talk about things. And it's just like Tyrese said that he wanted to be a part of the change in Sacramento. Not many guys say that. I don't think I ever heard De'Aaron Fox say that. I don't think like Marvin Bagley, their
Certainly
second
didn't
overall
say it.
pick, clearly wasn't all about staying in Sacramento. Buddy Hield wasn't, like all these young players that stayed there for a while never really were like, I want to be here. They're kind of just like, I wish I wasn't here.
Yeah.
And you traded away the one guy that said, I want to be a part of the change here. And it's just like, it's another L for the Kings. And it's like, being a Pistons fan sucks. Being a Kings fan, though,
Way worse.
gotta suck even more.
It does. I mean, you just never won. If you're a 25-year-old Kings fan, you've never seen winning basketball ever.
Yeah. Which, like, we really never have either, but
At least we have championships.
at least we have Cade.
and like we have history.
Like, what if we traded Cade? That'd be like this to them. Like,
yeah, it'd be hell.
I just, like, you could have gotten so much more if you were, like, I'm not saying you can't trade Tyrese, but if you do, you're trading him for Bradley Beal.
Yeah.
You're trading him for, like, an elite top 15, top 20 player.
Who's pissed off? You're going to trade him for Ben Simmons.
Yeah.
You've got
James Harden.
Or
Obviously that wouldn't have
I
worked,
just
but-
don't get it. I don't
Yeah.
get it. It makes no sense to
Okay,
me.
let's give grades for this one.
Sacramento. I'm gonna go C+.
Because you did get Sabonis.
I'm gonna go C+.
Yeah.
You got value for Tyrese.
You got the best player in the trade.
Yeah, and you got value for Tyrese. It's not like they traded him for some subpar. I mean, this guy's an all-star. He'll be an all-star, at least a borderline all-star for the next 6 years,
Yes,
probably.
for sure.
So as much as you want to complain, it is tough at sometimes. It's like when we got Blake Griffin. He was going to be good. It just doesn't elevate us to the next spot. Pacers.
Except we didn't give up an elite young player that has top value.
Yeah. For the Pacers, B+. You get to move Miles to the 5, which he's been wanting. There's not many guys in the league who want to play the 5 anymore. And you get to see what he's all about. And now you have Tyrese Halliburton. And I really hope they can somehow move on from Malcolm Brogdon or just move him to the 2.
I think they said that this offseason they were pretty much planning on trading Malcolm Brogdon, which is a dub. There's
give
gonna
Tyrese the keys. He could be an 11 assists a game kind of guy.
For
Like
sure.
something ballistic. He played with De'Aaron
Let him be
Fox.
the true guard. Like, let him take over this
Yeah.
this half season.
Think about the alley-oops.
He is your franchise player now.
Yeah. Him and Miles Turner.
Yeah.
That's your franchise duo. You're going to run
And
hella pick and
the
rolls.
Pacers are gonna have a top 5 pick in the draft. You add a big, like you had like Jabari Smith or like one, or dude, what if you got like Ivy, bro?
No, Jaden Ivey in the backcourt with
In
Reese.
Indiana still.
Crazy athletic, defensive potential out the roof, spot up
dude.
shooter.
Like I want Ivy on the Pistons now.
Me too.
Low-key.
No,
Like-
I've been saying it for
like I want.
I told all the coaches last night. I was like, I want Ivy in the backcourt with Cade.
Because Ivy like is in the NBA like already.
Yeah.
He plays like he is in the NBA.
Yep, very similar like a
Him
Jordan
and Cade,
Poole.
yeah, him and Cade would be sick. But if we don't move on from Jeremy Grant, I
Yeah.
guess, because I do think we need the bigs more. But anyways, let's get back to this. Sacramento,
goes to the
I
Pistons.
like the C+. I'm gonna give it a C. Actually, I'll give it a C because yeah, you got the best player in the trade, but you gave the value-wise awful, ridiculous. Indiana is an A, easy A. This team, they did exactly what they wanted to do. This team has been unwilling to tank forever, and guess what? You really don't have to tank from this. You got your next franchise player in this trade, and you can still kind of be relevant. You can get your top pick this year, and then you can kind of start to compete again. This boosts their rebuild, which I think is what they want. What a great trade for the Pacers. Really weird saying that.
You got worse, but you're going to have more fans in the arena because you now have Tyrese Halliburton. What an awesome trade.
Yeah.
What an awesome trade.
For sure. It was
Indiana.
For Indiana, yeah. If you're
Awful
Sacramento,
trade.
you suck.
If you live in California, the trade deadline was shit for you.
Let's move on to another big trade that happened before Thursday's trade deadline. This one happened right before this trade, I'm pretty sure, between the New Orleans Pelicans and the Portland Trailblazers. Big time trade. The New Orleans not the Hornets. New Orleans Pelicans get CJ McCollum, Larry Nance, and the GOAT, Tony Snell. And the Portland Trailblazers get Josh Hart, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Tomas Satoransky, and the New Orleans Pelicans protected first-round pick in this year's draft. It's a really weird protection on it. If it's 1 through 5, it stays with New Orleans. Or 1 through 4, it stays with New Orleans. 5 through 14, so if it's in the back half of the lottery, it goes to Portland. But then if New Orleans makes the playoffs and it goes out of the lottery, it goes to Charlotte from the Devontae Graham trade.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's really odd. So it's if you're Portland, you really want New Orleans to miss the playoffs, but
be decent.
But make me make the play-in and miss the playoffs. But instant reactions to this trade.
This trade I love it. I love the trade for the Pelicans. Trailblazers, it's whatever. We'd seen enough of the CJ and Dame backcourt. It was clear it wasn't going to win you a chip, and you had some awesome runs. Not every player, not every duo is going to win a chip. I hate to say it because that duo was so much fun.
Yeah.
And they clearly loved
and
playing
they're one
together.
of the longest duos
Tenured,
we've seen. Yeah,
10 years.
They have been, exactly. They have been a duo for a very long time. We don't really see that in today's NBA very much anymore.
I mean, there was dedication, multiple, I think 2 conference finals trips.
Just one.
Oh, just one.
Yep.
A couple second round
They made the playoffs
exits.
8 years in a row.
And it's sad to see them break up, but also what a great step in the right direction, in my opinion, for the Pelicans. You don't have, hopefully, maybe if he ever plays again, Zion, Brandon Ingram, and CJ. To me, what a great big 3. They're not young. You've got your veteran in CJ. You've got your 2 decently young guys, young guy in Zion, and an average age Brandon Ingram, who could grow together and become a very talented big 3 if they ever play together.
Yeah.
I really hope this works out for the Pelicans. I want to see the Pelicans keep Zion, because if Zion leaves the Pelicans on his own, accord, wanting to
doesn't
leave,
even sign his rookie extension. Yeah.
that should be scary for the entire league. That should scare everybody.
For the entire
Every
league
small market team.
that isn't in LA or anything.
You should be afraid of whoever you draft.
Especially if he goes to the Knicks or something.
It would be absolute, and he loves the Knicks. He wants to play in the
Yeah.
guard.
And RJ and Cam both play there.
And the 2 guys that he has said in a press conference at Duke, they want to meet up together.
Yeah.
So at some point, if their careers, it works out. Right now, there's a great chance that could work out.
Yeah, but Cam Reddish is already unhappy in New York, though.
Yeah,
so
because he doesn't play because Tibbs hates him. I don't know
hilarious.
why. He must not play defense.
Oh, yeah.
Or else he'd play 48 minutes
Probably
a game. But Portland, you're taking a step in a direction. Your idea is free up cap space for this summer. No free agents go to Portland. It just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
When was the last time it happened?
The idea that Portland, because, I guess this will just knock out another trade out of the way right now. Nickeil Alexander-Walker is not staying on Portland. They flipped him in a 3-way trade to Utah. They also flipped Tomas Satoransky to San Antonio, and they received Joe Ingles, who currently has a torn ACL and is out for the season, so he won't ever suit up in a Portland Trailblazers
Shout out Joe
uniform.
Ingles. Super quick.
Yeah.
Love you.
Oh, yeah, he's
Love
a
Joe.
go. He was pretty sad to get traded from
Yeah, he
Utah
was.
as well.
That tweet was I was like, damn. I was like, and the more you think about it, it's like Joe Ingles, Australian. Utah is probably the only home to him.
Yeah, in America.
It really is.
And I doubt he's leaving Utah. I doubt he's even going to go to Portland or anything.
Yeah, he'll probably stay right
He's
there.
a free agent. He's not going to play for this team. This team's not going to make the playoffs. So,
He's tore his ACL.
but yeah, so Portland pretty much traded CJ, Larry Nance, and Tony Snell for Josh Hart, that first-round pick and a second-round pick they got in the 3-team trade. So they are committing to this idea of clearing up a lot of cap space. They are now going to have $60 million in cap space coming up in this offseason. There's been talks about them wanting to be the team that goes after DeAndre Ayton. In theory, it sounds great, but like you said, not a lot of free agents are going to willingly go to Portland, and it's just, I get you want to build this team around Dame, and I like that they are doing this. I mean, they're trying to do something different that they haven't done yet, but it's almost like maybe we should just also trade Dame and completely blow it up. But yeah, $60 million. I mean, they're not going to get two super. It's if that's an LA team or a New York team having $60 million, you're getting two superstars.
Absolutely.
Portland, you're going to get 3 or 4 like mid-tier good players.
You're gonna get Robert Covington,
and you're going to be the
3 of
same
them.
exact team that you were 2 years ago that made it to the second round of the playoffs. So it's interesting for New Orleans, though. I do really like it. They've been a team that they started off the year, 1-14?
Awful.
Horrible
Horrendous.
to start off the year. They are currently in the 10th spot in the Western Conference right now. They're like 10 games under 500, but they are in a play-in tournament right now. Add CJ McCollum, who I think once Zion does come back, they're going to be a great duo. They get Larry Nance in this trade, too, who's a great versatile defender to add to their team. A backcourt of Devontae Graham and CJ isn't my favorite.
Defensive problems.
But this is just kind of I think they'll figure out their point guard thing next year. Malcolm Brogdon ends up in New Orleans.
You got a team.
That was just what I randomly just thought of, but like Brogdon, CJ, Ingram, Zion, Valanciunas, that's a playoff team.
Absolutely.
For sure.
That's more than a playoff team.
If Zion comes back to what he was last year, that's a really good team.
You're competing for the second round. It's not like you're in the playoffs. You should be competing for that second round
for sure.
That roster.
And this deal for New Orleans isn't like it's kind of like a win now move, but it's more of like a win with this core move. Like
when Zion comes back.
Yeah, let's add CJ to this young core that we have and just see how it goes. Because when you have a guy like Zion, a talent like him, you don't elongate your rebuild. You progress it. You get it going fast before you have to pay that guy. So getting a max contract guy in CJ McCollum before you paid Zion is a huge dub.
Yeah, absolutely. Their books are going to be loaded in the next few years.
Yeah.
Loaded.
I'm going to give New Orleans, I'm going to give them a B for this trade. Solid trade. You didn't give up that much. Nickeil Alexander-Walker's got to get paid this offseason anyways, so you probably weren't going to keep him. Portland, I'm going to give it like a C+. I understand you probably could have got more for CJ McCollum, especially coming from the CJ for Ben Simmons talks we had a while ago. You end up trading him for this package. It's like, if that pick becomes something, maybe. I'll give him a C+.
I'm going to go C- for the Trailblazers. I just think you can get a lot more for CJ. I think his value is higher than 1 first-round pick and Josh Hart. And then for the New Orleans Pelicans, I'll go the B. It's just solid trade, solid move. You're working to keep Zion in New Orleans.
Yeah.
That's what you're doing. Good job.
And you did that, yeah. Yep. So hopefully he likes it and he comes back soon.
Now it's just about whether or not, he wants to play.
Let's get to one more trade that didn't happen on the trade deadline, and I think the rest all are trade deadline trades. Obviously, as we get going, we're going to spend less and less time on each because we're doing the more important ones first. This one, the Cleveland Cavaliers receive Karis LeVert of the Indiana Pacers, and Indiana gets Ricky Rubio, who is out for the season, and he's on an expiring deal, so he will never play for the Pacers. They get their 2022 lottery-protected first, which they will get because Cleveland is going to make the playoffs, and they get 2 second-round picks in this year's draft as well. So, and one of them is Houston Rockets' second-round pick, which will be a top pick in the second round.
Yeah, badass. What a great move for Cleveland. What a great move for Indiana, especially after trading for Tyrese. I know Karis LeVert's kind of a 2-3, 3-2 kind of player, but you're still freeing up some wing depth and wing minutes. And Cleveland, you're just still in that competition mode.
Yeah.
And you just made your team better. Ricky Rubio will be out for the whole year. And you got Karis LeVert, who has shown that he can be a very good NBA player.
For sure.
At times. I really hope he comes in to Cleveland, has a really good, really good year.
And his last game in Indiana, he had like 42 points. So that was a great time for him to join the Cavs. Yeah, he said he's super excited. He's from Ohio. He gets to join a team that is contending. And Karis LeVert does fit this team. This team is really young. They have a really young core. Obviously, their big three of Garland, Mobley, and Jared Allen. But they add Karis LeVert to this team where they've had this in and out rotation of secondary ball handler. With Sexton went out, and then Rubio became that guy really good. Now he goes out. Rondo isn't really working, so now they get Karis LeVert. But Karis LeVert's what, 28, I think.
Yeah.
So like he actually is under contract for one more year after this. So you are gonna have to decide whether you want to pay Sexton or not. I'm thinking more of they probably aren't gonna keep him. Maybe you sign and trade him for another guy. But this is a great move for Cleveland because you don't need your pick in this year's draft. You have enough young guys on your team. You don't need another one to come sit the end of the bench because you're actually trying to compete now. So adding Karis LeVert is great for this team. And going forward, this is just a W of a move because they don't have to win it all this year.
No, absolutely not.
This is going to help them compete.
Yeah, absolutely. They might surprise everybody. They might be like the Hawks in the playoffs and beat a really good team in that first round, and maybe fizzle out. I know the Hawks. I don't expect them to make a conference finals run like the Hawks did, but
the East is just too loaded. I feel like for something like that to happen.
But it's what a great move. I'm gonna give this an A-. I'm gonna go with an A. I've got no problem with this trade for Cleveland. For Indiana, I'm gonna go with a C. It's an average trade. You didn't do much with it. C.
I'm gonna go with the A- for Cleveland, and then for Indiana, I'll give him a B- because you got decent value for LeVert. I mean, you're gonna get a pick that's in the late teens probably. You're getting a high second round pick. They said that they wanted 2 firsts. I mean, you pretty much kind of got 2 firsts if you want to count that second as a first. And this helped you lead to your rebuild, which we've been begging them to do. So I think it is a good trade for both sides.
Yeah, and I do too.
Now let's get into the only trade that matters to us, obviously, because it involves your very own Detroit Pistons.
Detroit.
4-teamer. We have a 4-team trade. Let's go through what each team got. First, starting with the Detroit Pistons, we get the former second overall pick. Pick before Luka. Pick before Jaren. Pick before Trae Young. Like, obviously, he's got to be good, right? Marvin Bagley III is coming to Detroit.
No,
that's just Sacramento. Sacramento, they get Dante DiVincenzo from the Milwaukee Bucks. They get Josh Jackson and Trey Lyles from Detroit, and then they get a second-round pick from, I don't really know who from because it's not from us, but they got a second-round pick from somebody. The Clippers are in this trade. They get Rodney Hood and Semi Ojeleye, 2 guys that won't be on their team next year. And the Milwaukee Bucks get Serge Ibaka and 2 second-round picks from the Detroit Pistons that are in the far future. We don't have to worry about it this year.
Hold on. So the Clippers just traded Serge for nothing?
Pretty much, yeah.
Why were they involved in that trade?
I mean, I don't think Serge was really even playing for them. Like, he just really hasn't been very good.
I guess, but like, who cares?
Maybe it was just to make him happier. I guess, like
maybe that's a cool move.
I mean, is there a chance Rodney Hood or Semi Ojeleye is on the squad next year? Maybe they see some.
I mean, I guess
some brightness in him.
No, you're right. Serge is old. You got to make your old guys happy.
Yeah,
and you trade him to a contender,
to a team that's good. They're gonna need him. Yeah. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you're right. That's that move. Holy shit, Bagley to the Pistons. What an awesome move. At the beginning of the year, at midway through point of the year, we thought it was going to look like Jeremy Grant for Buddy Hield and Bagley.
Yeah.
We gave up little to nothing.
And remember when Hami wasn't playing and it was like, okay, and there was just the huge rumors about Hami for Bagley.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, Pistons reporters did confirm that we've been trying to get Bagley pretty much damn near all year.
Yes, sir. We see something.
So we got all the rumors we heard, those were legit rumors.
Yeah.
We weren't just like, oh, that would be cool if we got Bagley, but it just made so much sense that we were going to get him. And his dad liked a bunch of Pistons stuff like the day before the trade deadline.
How could he not? He's playing with Cade freaking Cunningham.
Marvin Bagley's dad is Bagley's dad is like a huge head case, like worse than LeVar Ball. So,
but he's not as big. Like Bagley isn't as important as the Ball brothers.
And Bagley's a rapper too. So like he's about to hop on the songs with Rio and all that.
Sada baby.
Yeah, like he's about to hop on the songs with all of them.
We need to get Miles Bridges in Detroit.
I know.
They can make collab.
Hey, Bridges is playing in Detroit tonight. Hornets, Pistons.
There needs to be a We Want Bridges chant.
There is. Pistons Twitter's been talking about it all day.
Have they?
Yeah,
good. We should have
they're
won
gonna
that
get
game.
it going. I know.
Oh, that would have been a fun game.
But yeah, Pistons getting Bagley. We gave up Josh Jackson, Trey Lyles, 2 seconds. I want to give a huge shout out to both of those players, Josh Jackson in particular. It was his birthday yesterday. Getting traded to Sacramento on your birthday, it's gotta suck. Especially from your hometown as well. But for real though, Josh Jackson, loved your time in Detroit. One of the more entertaining players on our team because he doesn't back down to nobody. He's
Detroit.
He would talk shit to Zach. Him and Zach LaVine got into it. He was just the first guy I thought of, but he would go at everybody. Like, it doesn't matter who it is. He got ejected a lot this year. Definitely had a worse year in the first half of this season than he did last year in Detroit. Last year he was pretty solid, but hopefully he gets some meaningful minutes for Sacramento. Trey Lyles, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I want to give a shout out to Trey Lyles. He was a lot better than I expected him to be, and he kind of did embrace the team. I mean, I thought he was going to come here and just hate being here
and try to shoot the ball, but he was like a competent role player.
Good. Like, he helped us stay in games for sure, especially with Olynyk out.
Threes.
Yeah. He was good. I hope he plays in Sacramento, but we didn't need him. Like, I'm fine we traded him. Those 2 second-round picks. Who cares about second-round picks? We drafted Luka Garza and Isaiah Livers in the second round this year. Do those dudes play? No.
Are they ever going to? Probably not.
As much as I want them to, like, where the hell is Livers, man, all year? Doesn't play. So
hey, Motor City Cruise is elite, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Motor City, Saban Lee, Luka, and Isaiah Livers. Good luck.
Chris Smith, he might get. We have an open spot now. He might come up. We'll see.
Oh my God, I can't even think. Who's the GOAT? Pickett.
Pickett. Maybe Pickett comes. Nah, he was bad when he came up to the league, though. We'll see.
Give him another shot.
We have an open spot, so I assume someone will come up.
Pickett's a bucket. Get him back on the roster.
But let's talk about the rest. I mean, Milwaukee getting Ibaka. You didn't give up much. You gave up Hood.
And DiVincenzo.
You did give up DiVincenzo, but he didn't really play at all this year. He's been much worse than he was before he was injured. So for Sacramento, I mean, this is a team that, I don't know if you guys remember this, but Sacramento had Dante DiVincenzo at one point. They did that sign and trade with Bogdanovich, sending him to Milwaukee last offseason or 2 off seasons ago. And then it didn't go through. Bogdanovich said nah, and then he went to Atlanta instead. So, which is really weird. Like,
pretty wild that DiVincenzo's on this Kings. Like, it came full circle.
He's actually on the Kings now. So,
were the Kings? I mean, I guess the Kings might have gotten better with this trade.
Yeah, I think they did. Because Bagley was a guy who was unhappy there. So you're getting Sabonis, so you don't need Bagley. My only problem is you have Sabonis and Rashawn Holmes now as a front court. If you're a Pacers fan, thought Sabonis and Miles Turner couldn't work, I'm going to tell you right now that Sabonis, Rashawn Holmes will not work. Like, it definitely will not. So I'm surprised they didn't trade Rashawn Holmes. But going through a grade for each of these teams, Pistons, I'm going to give it a B.
I'm going to give it a B.
Because
you did give up Josh Jackson and Trey Lyles.
You know, and I saw some people hating on this trade saying that you could have just waited till the offseason to get Bagley if you really want him. Well, I completely disagree with that because we get a half season to test him out before we want to pay him.
He can play 30 minutes off the bench.
Exactly. What if
games.
we just signed him in free agency to a $15 million contract for 3 years or something, and he just isn't good? It's like, oh, well, that would have been nice to know. So that's why I still am a fan of this trade. Yeah, you give up 2 seconds, whatever.
I'm done complaining about Troy Weaver's trades.
Yeah, and I'm not complaining that we didn't trade Jeremy Grant, by the way. You're probably waiting for that. I guess we can spend a minute or two on that. I'm fine we didn't trade Jeremy Grant. As long as Sadiq Bey, Cade Cunningham, and him,
can figure it out,
can work together.
Yeah.
And I don't see why they can't. Those 3 haven't played in many games together in the first place.
Probably less than 16.
Yeah, probably. But like last year, Sadiq and Jeremy Grant were fine together all year. So how come all of a sudden this year it's like not really working? Jeremy Grant had his first real good game last night since coming back from injury. Like they played tonight, so Bagley's not playing. Cade is questionable. I doubt he plays. They haven't played him in a while. His injury was day to day when he got hurt. And it's just like, bro, if he's gonna be out for 2 weeks, just say he's gonna be out for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But Sacramento, they get DiVincenzo. I'll give them like a B+ for this trade. I mean, you added depth and a second round pick for Bagley. Sure.
Absolutely.
The Clippers, non-graded. I don't really whatever.
C.
It doesn't really matter. Yeah,
C.
I don't think it's bad or good. Yeah, sure, a C. Milwaukee, I'm gonna give it a B-. I mean, you got Ibaka, a guy who hasn't been good this year, but you need big man depth. No, actually, I'm gonna give it a worse trade than that.
I'm gonna give it a
worse
C.
grade. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a C. I keep forgetting they gave up DiVincenzo. Yeah,
whole lot of C's in this trade.
Yeah,
then Pistons winning the whole
exactly.
trade.
Pistons winning the trade like usual.
Come on.
Clearly, a couple trades left here. first one, Boston gets Derek White from San Antonio for Josh Richardson, Romeo Langford. The Boston's protected 2022 first-round pick. I assume that it's just lottery protected, and then a pick swap in 2028. I think it's a good pickup for Boston.
Yeah, absolutely. You didn't do anything wrong. I mean, you didn't do a whole lot, but
Yeah.
Derek White's a good player.
And I think San Antonio is a good trade too. You get pretty good value for Derek White. You get a first-round pick, a swap, Romeo Langford, a guy who maybe you test him out in San Antonio, see if he does anything decent. I'm gonna give Boston a B+ for this because they improved when the whole Eastern Conference did. Like you got teams in the East that didn't really do anything that should have, whereas Boston especially tried to. San Antonio, I'm gonna give them a B+ too. A couple of B+ for both of them.
Yeah, I'm gonna go B and B. Just because I don't really know if San Antonio Spurs did the best deal, but B and B.
I just like that the Spurs are committing to a rebuild now.
Yep.
Like this allows more minutes for Josh Primo, for Lonnie Walker, all the rest of their guards because they have a crap ton of them. Next, the Charlotte Hornets get Montrezl Harrell. The Washington Wizards get Vernon Carey Jr., Ish Smith, and a second-round pick in 2023. Good pickup for Charlotte.
Yeah. The only thing is, I wish Charlotte would have went out and got a bigger big.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't fix their issue. Montrezl Harrell plays big, but he's not actually big.
Yeah, but he's the same size as PJ, who's an undersized 4.
And and that's what I mean. You just have an issue. Your problem has always been your big man, but you didn't really get a big man.
Yeah.
You just got
a guy
Vernon
that
Carey's
plays
huge,
big man.
But he's not going to play right away.
Right.
Versus Montrezl will play right away. So I don't really know. It's a decent move. I'm going to give it a B-.
Yeah, I mean, both teams here, Washington, if they didn't do the Porzingis trade, it would be different, but I guess you're just replacing Montrez with Porzingis because Ish Smith probably won't play very much. Vernon Carey probably won't play very much. That second-round pick probably won't be nothing. So, Charlotte, I'm going to give them a C+. I mean, I don't think Montrez is going to elevate their ceiling or anything. At least they got a big man, so I'll give them that. Washington, I'll also give them a C+. You didn't really get shit for Montrez, but you also it didn't really matter. Yeah,
he sucks.
you weren't. It's not like you could have gotten more.
He's been bad.
Yeah. Next, the Toronto Raptors get Thaddeus Young, Drew Eubanks, who they've already waived, and a second-round pick in this year's draft. And San Antonio gets Goran Dragic, who they expect to buy out, and the Raptors' first-round pick in this year's draft. I didn't read that there was any protections on this pick, but it also didn't say unprotected. It just said 2022 first, which if it's unprotected, that's a huge dub for San Antonio.
Easy dub.
But teams don't just hand out unprotected picks no more, so I would assume this has a protection on it. But yeah.
This trade is kind of whatever. It's kind of a wash.
Yeah.
Good job, San Antonio, getting a first-round pick. That's about it.
This team has 3 firsts now. They have their own, they have Toronto's, and they have Boston's. You have 3 picks in this year's draft. Like I said, I like where San Antonio's heading with they are committing to their rebuild. Thaddeus Young, I'm glad he gets freed because he just straight up was getting 5 minutes a night in San Antonio. So now he goes to a team in Toronto that is actually pretty good. And now even though the East is really good, Thad Young is going to help that out. Dragic will probably go to a team that is going to need him in the playoffs. So it's a good trade for both teams. Yeah, this isn't like a crazy, blockbuster, but I think this helps both teams. It's good for both. B- for both teams.
Yeah, B and B for me.
Yep. Next, we only have a few left. Phoenix Suns get Torrey Craig and cash considerations.
Hell yeah.
He's going to ball out.
I heard he might average 30 for him.
The Pacers get Jalen Smith, former 10th overall pick in the 2020 draft, and a second-round pick in this year's draft.
Rebuild. Good job, Pacers. Great job.
Yeah.
B.
Torrey Craig, I think they signed him in, when they did sign him, I assume they meant it to do it to trade him eventually. Torrey Craig, Phoenix, the rich get richer. I mean,
just get better.
They already have several big wings that can defend. Let's just add another one. He was on their team last year when they went to the finals, so
let's just
he's
make
now
this team
on their
better.
team again. Yeah, so a great trade for both teams because with Indiana, you have JaVale McGee, you have Biyombo as your backup bigs. You don't need Jalen Smith. And, obviously you maybe could have gotten Thad Young, but you get Torrey Craig, who's obviously much better than Jalen Smith.
Yep. R.I.P. the Western Conference.
Yeah, no one is messing with the Suns, except maybe the Warriors.
Maybe.
Last trade. Actually, we got 2 more. Boston gets Daniel Tice. Houston gets Dennis Schroeder, who they might buy out. Ennis Freedom, who they already cut. Ennis Cantor Freedom. And then Bruno Fernando.
Bruno Fernando.
Yeah. You know who that is? Went to Maryland. Played for Atlanta for a few years. He got drafted by Atlanta. He was a first rounder.
Well, when he said it, I thought Bruno Caboclo.
Oh,
or
really? Yeah. That's
Caboclo or-
true.
But I don't know who that is. What a wash of a trade.
A guy who won't play.
What a wash of a trade.
This was a buzzer beater trade. too.
Yeah, it was.
This one happened at 2:59.
Were we on the phone? I think we were on the phone.
Yeah, this was the last trade. Boston, you get Daniel Tice. Like,
Hell yeah.
Dennis Schroeder was a guy who you weren't going to bring back next year, where now you have Tice locked up. He was good for you in Boston.
He's gonna be good again. He clearly likes Boston.
Exactly.
I really do believe that.
I think so too.
he is Boston. He
Houston,
looks
this
like he
trade,
lives there.
sure, you got. Actually, this is a good trade for them because you got off of the contract you gave Daniel Tice, where we were all like, why did they just give what was it, $448, I think, for Daniel Tice? Why? I don't know. But now he's in Boston, and Houston, you get to free up some money.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for Houston a C, for Celtics a B.
Yeah, I'm gonna go same thing. Like,
Just
pretty meh.
Who cares?
Last trade doesn't even matter. Bol and PJ Dozier get sent to Orlando for cash considerations. Both of them are out for the year already.
Gonna ball out. What? I didn't even know he got traded twice in one day. Damn.
Yeah. Yeah,
Four
because they got
different
traded to Boston a couple weeks ago in that like Bryn Forbes thing, and then now they're both getting sent to Orlando, but they're both out for the year anyways, so it don't even matter. So let's talk about winners and losers quickly. Obviously, this has already been a long podcast, but let's go through some winners and losers of the trade deadline.
The big time winners, Brooklyn and Philadelphia. You have fixed your teams, both of you. I understand you might not be championship ready, but at least everybody will be happy. At least the team will be happy and ready to play basketball and excited. Joel Embiid, what a badass. What an absolute badass.
For real.
And then I got to give one last shout out to the Pistons. Go Pistons. You did it. You didn't have to trade Jeremy Grant. You didn't jump the gun on Jeremy Grant and trading him for not
Something
enough
you
value.
didn't think.
Or something you didn't want. Troy Weaver, you stand your ground. You were one of the best GMs in basketball, in my opinion. Keep it up. You're kicking ass. You just got Marvin.
And the
Bagley.
people that are questioning Troy Weaver, like, why? He didn't do anything wrong. We don't have to trade Jeremy Grant.
We are not in win now mode.
And if
or
he was
rebuild mode.
yeah, exactly. If he was expiring this year, Jeremy Grant, I'd be a little upset that we didn't trade him. Like, we just let him go for nothing. Now, if we extend Jeremy Grant, I don't think I'm going to be mad, but it's going to be like,
What's going on here? I'm not sure about that one.
Especially if they continue to not play well together for the rest of this season. But yeah, this Pistons team, as much as I root for them on a nightly basis and I want them to win games, this team it doesn't help us at all to win games right now. Like, we need to get another top 3 pick, and then after we make our pick and we have this money in free agency, that's when next year is when we're going to start to actually try to compete a little bit.
And get some nice role players, $10 million a year type guys,
Exactly.
15 mil.
And then you can trade Jeremy for younger pieces that fit right now, or you could just keep them. Like,
you have Cade and a top 3 pick. That duo alone should be a lot for you.
Yeah.
That should win a ton of games.
with Sadiq Bey, with Hamidou Diallo.
As much as we need things, we are a pretty deep young team.
We have a lot of young players on our team, and now that hopefully there's talks about Corey Joe getting bought out, which that would help.
Just the minutes. The
It
guard
would just help
minutes would be dope.
give minutes to other guys. Yeah,
Buy him out and let him go. Let him go to a team. Let him go to Philadelphia.
Yeah,
Let him go
I
to
like
Philly.
that. I like it. I got Simmons and Harden as a winner. I was gonna go with Nets and Sixers, but I just went with those two because they get to play for teams. They get to play actually. They get to play meaningful basketball. And I put Daryl Morey as a winner too because he got his way.
He got what he wanted.
More winners.
Pelicans, definitely a winner. You went out and got better, which seems like the reason Zion's not playing is because you're not good enough. You are better. Zion now, if he doesn't play, he's soft.
Yeah.
You are good enough where he needs to play. Zion is not
Unless
above
he's not
this
healthy.
talent. You know what I mean? Pelicans, winner.
I got the Indiana Pacers as a winner. Obviously, we talked a lot about it earlier, but getting Tyrese Halliburton in that trade was so unexpected, and it's just a W of a trade for the Pacers. We talked about it enough. They are a winner.
I'm going to throw out a loser. Absolute loser. Knicks fans. Knicks. The Knicks. What a bunch of losers. The East got better. You have been worse this year, and you're just going to keep sliding.
I don't think they are even in the top 10 right now in the East. Let me look. They are currently the 12th seed in the East right now at 25-31.
Good job, New York Knicks. I was rooting for you. You had one good year. Good job. Peace out. No longer a Knicks fan.
did nothing, yeah. And it was like you traded for Cam Reddish. You gave up your pick for Cam Reddish.
And
he doesn't play. And now you are – and you look at the 11 teams ahead of them, other than Washington, who is in 11th right now, who's probably going to get worse. The top 10 above them, Atlanta's going to keep contending. Charlotte's going to keep contending. Brooklyn is 8th right now. You know damn well they're going to keep contending. Like, none of those other teams are going to fall out.
Have fun in the play.
The top 10 that is the top 10 right now will be the top 10, I
Bing
think.
bong.
Unless somehow the Hawks fall off, which I don't think they will. One of my losers, Los Angeles Lakers. I mean, this is
Same exact
this is
situation.
an obvious one. This team, LeBron James, after their game before the trade deadline, came out and said on the press conference, we need to make trades. He goes, I don't see how we can expect to be a good team if we don't make moves. What did you do? Nothing.
You sat there.
Now, could you do anything?
Probably
no. You really don't have anything to move other than THT, and clearly nobody wants his ass. So,
THT is the biggest lie.
and there was talks about Westbrook for John Wall, but the Rockets wanted a pick attached to Russell Westbrook, which I would too. I mean, why John
would-
Wall doesn't play for you, and
Yeah.
Westbrook is going to want to play for you.
But
You don't really
want
need that.
Westbrook to play
Yeah,
for
so like you have enough. You want to get your young players minutes, not Westbrook or John Wall.
You
so.
want KPJ and Jalen Green running your guards, not
exactly.
Russell Westbrook.
So I got the Lakers as a loser for sure because the Lakers are 26-30 right now, the 9th seed in the West. They're going to be a buyout team for sure.
Another one for me, the Dallas Mavericks. I just don't get what direction you're going to. So I'm actually gonna numb it down to losers. Luka, your team got worse, dude, and it's gonna be a one-man show for looks like the foreseeable
Which he
future.
did drop 51 points last night, so
28
maybe
in the first
one,
or something ridiculous.
Maybe the one-man show can work.
Maybe until you get to the
It was
playoffs
against
and
the
have
Clippers,
to play the
though,
Clippers.
so he always
He
goes
hates
off
the
against
Clippers.
the Clippers. Yeah.
Hates the Clippers.
Another loser, the Houston Rockets. I have as a loser simply because of the value they got for James Harden versus what the Nets just got for James Harden. There was talks about them getting Ben Simmons for James Harden when they had Harden.
And they didn't pull the trigger.
And then the Nets literally did that. They traded Harden for Simmons plus more, and they're still going to be a good team. Whereas Houston, you got nothing. You got Jared Allen, who should have been an all-star. Karis LeVert, who is on that team now as well. And you got a bunch of pick swaps and picks that aren't going to be shit because the Nets' future while adding Simmons, they're going to be good for a long time now. So the Rockets I got as a loser.
Yeah, absolute loser. They suck. What an awful move. Last one. I'm going to go with the Kings. Just getting rid of a young top 10 talent like that. I'm going to call him top 10. Top 10 something. He's a top 10 talent of something. Top 10 young playmaker, I guess. Number one young playmaker. You really whiffed. You finally nailed your draft pick. You got him with what, 7, 8, 9? It was after
I
killing
think he
him.
went 12.
Yeah,
he
after-
fell.
yeah.
Yeah.
You nailed the 12th
And they
overall
don't
pick.
nail picks.
They never do.
They don't hit picks.
DeMarcus Cousins, De'Aaron Fox. That's it.
Yeah.
That's the last 20 years.
And how those guys turned out.
both won out.
Never made the playoffs.
You nailed a pick, and it wasn't the first overall pick. It wasn't an easy
And he's
one.
in year 2. It's not like he's in year 5 and it's like we've seen what we've seen. Yeah, he's good, but he doesn't translate to winning. No, he's in year 2, year 1.5. Like
You suck, Sacramento.
Oh, you suck. Another loser, Portland Trailblazers, man. I got them as a loser simply because they think that they can create all this cap space. And in theory, it's a great idea, but it's not going to work out.
Portland.
It is not going to work out, unfortunately. I hate to say it, but it won't. I do have another winner. I got DeAndre Ayton as a winner because a lot of teams he's going to get a max contract
Oh,
from
yeah, he
somebody.
will.
Portland pretty much
Portland.
damn near came out and said,
We
so
want Ayton.
so either he's going to go to Portland or Suns are going to match the offer he gets from Portland. So
And you're going to win.
either way, DeAndre Ayton is going to be making a max contract. So I got him as a winner.
Dude, if he gets a max and stays with the Suns, good luck, the NBA.
Yeah.
Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton for the next 8 years.
Apparently, they discussed the Ayton for Sabonis type swap, too.
Really? That's interesting.
I don't think it was like the Suns wanted to, but it was just discussed. Because if you're the Pacers, would you rather do a Reese or Ayton? That's tough. Probably
Yeah,
Reese.
probably Reese.
Because you have Turner, though.
Yeah.
If you didn't have Turner, it'd be a little different. But
Yeah, and at the same time though, I don't know why the Suns would really want to me, DeAndre Ayton works so perfectly with the Suns because of their guards and how
Yeah.
like they've got a couple not undersized guards, but they're smaller guards. And then they've got these big defensive players.
Yeah.
Who are mobile, agile. DeAndre Ayton's at the top of that list of mobile big men.
Yeah,
Who
for
move
sure.
really well and play hella
I think it was
good
just
defense.
because they know that Ayton's going to be gone and Sabonis is under contract. But, like, I don't think Ayton, even if they choose not to pay him, he's not just walking.
No,
Like,
he
they
won't.
are getting, it's going to be a sign and trade. They're getting something for Ayton. But yeah, that's pretty much it. We didn't bring up the Norm Powell trade, but that's why I got Blazed as a losers too, because they got fleeced in that trade too. So
Absolutely
got
washed.
fleeced in like 3 trades. But yeah, that's it for the trade deadline special. Please go leave a like.
Hold on.
Sorry, go ahead.
Shout out the Michigan Wolverines.
Yeah. Oh, I
baby.
literally wrote it down too.
Won
Yeah.
6 of their last 8. Just beat number 3 Purdue
Yeah,
Boilermakers.
we should have been at that game, but it's whatever.
You.
Well, no, I'm saying. I was
I
implying
guess.
just like some of our
Yeah.
friends. Yeah, they
Bullshit.
got Ohio State Saturday, big
sir.
time game. They got to
Yes,
keep it
sir.
rolling. Then they got Iowa on Thursday next week, and then Wisconsin away next Sunday. MSU, we got Indiana this Saturday, big game. We've been sucking lately. We got to win that one. Penn State on Tuesday, and then we will be in East Lansing for Illinois MSU the following
sir.
Saturday.
Should
So,
be a high intensity game.
Illinois
Lots of stake.
top team in the Big Ten right now, so
Which
it's
is
going to be
wild.
hyped. Yeah.
They lost Ayu Dosunmu, Ace Miller, and or Adam Miller, Ace
Yeah.
Miller, and they're still number 1. Wow.
Yep.
And that guard is ridiculous that they have.
Which
Frazier?
Cabello or Frazier? Yeah,
Yeah.
both of them are.
He's
yeah.
unreal.
Both of them are very good. Yeah.
Peace.
Yep. Bye.